All right, let's talk about Box, the company that manages a massive amount of the world's enterprise data. Well, this is the story of how they navigated the hype, let's be honest, the failure, and then the ultimate breakthrough of generative AI. It's a pretty wild ride.
So, let's start with the core problem they were trying to solve. A staggering 90% of a company's most important information. We're talking contracts, proposals, you name it, it's all just locked away in documents. It's unstructured, which is really just a fancy way of saying it's a mess that's incredibly difficult to search, to automate, and to actually use.
Then, in 2023, generative AI just explodes onto the scene. And for this decades-old problem of messy, unstructured data, it honestly felt like a magic bullet had finally arrived.
I mean, before this, getting data out of documents was this complex, brittle, multi-billion-dollar industry. It needed all these specialized models, huge amounts of training data. It was a whole thing. But with Gen AI, the promise was, hey, a simple prompt could just replace all of that. The old way was rigid. The new way seemed almost too easy.
And for a little while, it was that simple. The team at Box was absolutely thrilled. Their first test showed that a standard, off-the-shelf AI model could outperform the old, custom-built systems. It really seemed like, wow, problem solved. The magic was real.
But as anyone in tech will tell you, the real world is never, ever that simple. As soon as customers started bringing their most complex, gnarly, real-world challenges to the table, that initial magic, well, it started to fade fast. And this is the kind of question that changed everything. That simple one-shot AI call that worked wonders on a neat 10-page document, it just completely fell apart when faced with true enterprise-level stuff like this. The AI it couldn't handle it.
And the failures just started piling up. In long documents, the AI would literally lose track of information. Messy scans with some handwriting on them threw it off completely. Different languages, all new problems. And maybe the biggest deal breaker for any business, the AI couldn't give a confidence score. It couldn't tell you how sure it was about an answer, which makes it way too unreliable for any serious work.
So the team realized their simple, initial approach was just too fragile. They had hit a wall. And the idea of just waiting around for the next, slightly better AI model from OpenAI or Google, well, that wasn't going to cut it. It wasn't going to solve this fundamental problem.
So the breakthrough wasn't a better AI model. It was a completely new way of thinking about the problem itself. They needed to move from making a single AI call to orchestrating an entire AI workflow. This was what they called the agentic shift.
Think of it this way. The old approach was like giving a really complex task to a single overworked intern and just hoping for the best. This new approach was like giving it to a coordinated team of specialists. This team has a plan, they have specific tools for the job, and they can double-check their own work, reflect, and even try again if something isn't right. That's the core idea of an agentic workflow.
So what even is an agentic system? It's not just one AI call. It's an intelligent process that can actually plan out its steps, use different tools for different parts of the job, and, this is the cool part, even critique its own work to get to the right answer. It's a system designed to think, not just react.
And in practice, this meant breaking the problem down into these manageable steps. First, prepare and group related information. Then, query the document in smaller chunks instead of all at once. Crucially, it used different tools, like multiple AIs that could vote on an answer, or a special tool just for rescanning messy text. And finally, it built a feedback loop right into the process with an AI judge that could basically say, nope, that's not good enough, try again.
So, the payoff? This new architecture didn't just solve their data extraction problem, it completely transformed Box's entire approach to building with AI.
The immediate result was a massive jump in accuracy, exactly what their enterprise customers were asking for. The performance on those super complex critical documents went from being totally unreliable to incredibly robust.
But here's the more important part. It created a flexible, evolvable foundation. Now, instead of some huge redesign, fixing a bug or adding a new capability was as simple as just adding another step to the workflow. This new way of thinking unlocked entirely new features, like deep research into a company's private data, and it fundamentally changed how their engineers approached building with AI.
So the crucial lesson from Box's whole journey is this. If you're facing a complex problem that AI could plausibly solve, don't just throw a single model at it and cross your fingers. You should seriously consider building an agentic system right from the start. And this whole journey leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. As business problems get more and more complex, is the future of AI going to look less like a single, all-knowing superintelligence and more like a highly efficient, automated team of specialized experts all working together? It's something to chew on, for sure.